It's Tuesday, September 30th, 2014. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights Tonight. Floosh! It's Pandante. Let's do this. I don't think you guys understand how excited we are about the term floosh.
Only a panda would know what a floosh was. Our listeners are not pandas yet.
Yep. So yeah, we played Pandante, and it was pretty much the best game.
It was so floosh. Let's wait until the main bit to actually talk about the main bit.
You wanted the main bit to talk about the floosh?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So in the news, it's
you
game
just jumping
night.
straight to news there.
What do you got? Some other bit you want to talk about?
No.
No, nothing at all.
No.
All right. Oh, though our live stream has already gone to bad status.
That's not my fault. You suck at technology.
Actually, it looks like the Elgato software is fucking something up.
I've been using XSplit, which costs money, but whatever.
Yeah, I like the Elgato hardware, but the software is just butt, and it just doesn't work that well.
The only thing the Elgato software does that is good, that other software does not do, is auto-ducking. Nothing else does the auto-ducking.
Yep. I can do the auto-ducking here with the Onyx and everything.
Well, yeah, but most people do not have some sort of auto-ducking hardware. So
yeah.
the Elgato doing it is, the Elgato software doing it is great. Normally for other stuff you need like OBS, there was like a weird shady plugin that costs money.
Though the Elgato, I guess it's relevant talking about game streaming. The trouble with the Elgato hardware too is that it'll usually, between it and its software, have a semi-non-deterministic or broken delay between your voice and the game.
You have to push the buttons in the right order. I don't know if they fixed that bug.
Right.
They might have fixed that bug.
I don't think they did, because I was testing and I still saw a lot of weird issues.
Anyway, let's now talk about news. The biggest news in gaming.
Yup.
On October 3rd, and right now we're recording this, my calendar says September 30th. For you, it's probably October 1st. They're going to release, for the 3DS, Super Smash Bros., the most important game in all of video gaming. A new release, hopefully not garbage, for the first time ever on a portable system.
Not bad.
Oh my glob. This shit is going... Mario... It's weird because this basically destroys the competition completely, but what is the competition? Mario Kart. It's like they're killing them. Every other multiplayer game that they make is now worthless. Because the only game anyone is going to play when there is more than one person with a 3DS is Smash Bros.
What about the new Tetris?
I mean, I'll play that, but there's going to be there's a free demo of Smash Bros in the eShop, so you can go play that now. It's pretty much Smash Bros. The only problem I have with it is that the controls, they're trying to mimic the GameCube controls, and in the demo, you can't go to the settings and change them because it's just a demo. So jump is Y, and right because they're mimicking the GameCube. But on a 3DS, that's backwards. I don't want to jump with the button that's at the top. I want to attack with that button and jump with B, and then right. So that's annoying. At least R and L do the right thing.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what we do there, because the game...
It's going to take over the world pretty much in terms of handheld gaming. And then when the Wii U one comes out, I think only like serious people who are like... Either people who have Wii U's are going to get it, obviously. But people who are serious about competing, if it proves competitively viable, unlike the previous Smash Brothers, they will get the Wii U one for their tournaments and such. But the 3DS one, I think, is really going to be the one that takes the cake.
Well, because the Wii U is and also ran at this point.
Yep. In other news, on the iPad, you can now get the free-to-play Pokemon trading card game. It was available on it still is available in a web version, but now on the iPad, a Nintendo game. Oh shit.
So we'll see. I mean, we're not going to review it from the demo. We're going to wait for the real game to come out.
I pre-ordered it on Amazon. It's coming.
Just waiting for it to arrive, and then we'll play it.
Yep.
I think at least all my original concerns, I was worried because of what they did to Mario Tennis, that they were going to do the same thing to Smash. But I think they at least... Mario Tennis, like they're making it...
It does seem like they're putting in some effort to appeal to the competitive gaming scene. But the problem is I'm not good enough at Smash to be able to tell on my own whether this Smash is competitively viable, because my fingers are not fast, and I don't know how to wave dash or anything like that. So... we need to consult an expert on these matters.
Yeah. Well, the other trouble is just that, they ruined Mario Tennis. Mario Tennis is no longer a skill game. It's just Simon Says.
Which Mario Tennis?
The newest Mario
one,
Tennis
yes.
on the 3DS.
That's true.
And Mario Kart was pretty good. So I feel like there's a lot of inconsistency. Like they have decided they see certain games as being competitive, and I feel like if you're not one of those games, fuck you. They're because you know that old thing about how Team Fortress 2 was way more popular among the players when they made it more random without telling them what they did. So I wonder if Nintendo is going down the road of making games fun, quote unquote fun for players on average, irrespective of other concerns like tests of skill,
Smash
competitive,
Brothers
whatever.
is sort of the perfect storm of that because in terms of fun, it's like default mode is items on, but they let you turn items off.
That's it. The fact that they let you turn the items off. Other games have not let you do that as much.
So by default, it's crazy fun for everyone, but the hardcore people...
It's crazy fun for everyone.
But the hardcore people can then make it hardcore so it's fun for them as well.
So we'll
it's
see.
like, imagine if an FPS didn't have invert Y-axis.
Well,
everyone could play except Rim and Scott Johnson. It would be great.
My muscle memory is to the point to where there's no backing away from that. Like,
but then again, imagine if a spaceship free space shooting game like X-Wing released today did not have invert Y-axis.
What if a game like that just didn't support joysticks?
And wouldn't exist.
I don't know. Well, joysticks don't exist, but that's a whole separate show. We should.
I would buy a copy to set on fire, but that would mean I have to buy a copy.
Yeah. So, in other news, Five Nights at Freddy's. I'm amazed.
I'm surprised. So my coworkers started talking about this independently of me. I didn't even know it existed. They started talking about it in relation to something, and then a couple days later, Rim talked about it, and I'm like, what?
This is why I'm amazed, because at the same time, like when I was talking to you about it, you did not know much about it, and
I only knew from that conversation with my coworkers and the Steam store page.
My coworkers never heard of it, but I ran afoul of it in internet circles from day one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I knew about this game pretty much.
You knew about it early on when it was
way
coming?
Early.
Okay.
So, and I'm not going to get into the story of how it was made or anything. We'll do a full show on it at some point if
Wasn't
Scott
it
ever plays
Kickstarter
it.
or something?
So the game itself is legitimately terrifying. Not in
if you're
the
a
sense,
baby.
No, not in the sense of like Yamishibai, like, oh my god, it's scary.
I haven't been
I'm
scared by
scared.
anything since I was like 2.
So can a jump scare get you?
It's not scary. That's
No, but
surprise.
Yeah, Scott, there's the thing. There's a gradient between surprise and scared. I did not say the game scared me. I said it terrified me.
Okay.
Here's what happened.
I think terrified is just extreme. Is the same thing as scared, only to a greater degree.
No, I would say that terrified is extreme fearful surprise.
No.
Yeah. So here's the thing. The game does not pretend that it's not getting you with jump scares. In fact, in the very beginning when you start it, it says, warning, this game is basically just jump scares.
Great.
So you know.
Boo.
You know. And it uses jump scares effectively to punish you for failing. So as a result, you're playing the game, and in my experience, I start playing the game, and I kind of know what the deal is, and I play through night 1. It was pretty good, but in night 2, when shit got real, and the game was even like, yo, dog, shit's real now.
It tells you shit's about to get real.
Basically. My heart rate was going up because the game is just extremely...
You're playing with a biometric sensor?
I could feel it. My heart was pounding because the game is very stressful to play. You have to be paying attention to all these things constantly.
You haven't even told people what the game is.
Yeah. So, because I'm saying this is why the game got me. And then the moment happened where the game, I lost. And the jump scare thing was about to happen. And I knew a jump scare was coming. So what I did is I leaned back from my monitor, I folded my arms, and I kind of looked away, just like waiting for it to happen. Like you do if you look at one of those like jump scare kind of memes.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm just waiting for it to happen, and then I'm going to restart the game. And it just doesn't happen. It doesn't happen, and it doesn't happen. And I literally lean in a little bit.
And then it happens.
And I take the mouse, and I move it to see if like the game crashed.
And then it happened.
It happened
you
immediately.
moved the mouse. It wasn't going to do it if you weren't there.
But then I thought back, the game warned me that moving the mouse would do it.
Oh, it did it?
So here's the deal. The game is very simple. You are working minimum wage, the night shift, at Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Restaurant.
In other words, Chuck E. Cheese.
Chuck E. Cheese's. Freddy Fazbear, and there's 4 animatronic suits.
In other words, the rocket fire explosion.
So your job is to sit there from midnight until 6 a.m., and be the night watchman. You can't
Okay,
leave.
so Chuck E. Cheese's don't have night watchmen, first of all.
Yeah, so this
They have
one...
automated security systems, if anything.
Yeah, so this one has night
They
watchmen.
also, I don't think, have rocket fire explosions at Chuck E. Cheese. They just have arcade games and cranes and shit.
So you're really going to try to make this a realistic game here. You're going to really pick it apart on that level.
Yes.
So here's the deal. You're sitting there in the room. You cannot leave the room. The only controls you have is you can move the mouse to look left or right. There's open doors to the left and to the right.
Why are there 2 doors?
That's just like the main security room.
This is a weird-ass building. Who made this thing?
The layout's actually really straightforward. You're sitting in a room. There's 2 hallways that go out from either side of you into like different areas of the complex.
Chuck E. Cheese has hallways. It's a big open building with like a kitchen for the pizza.
Yeah, like the back hallways, like where they store the animatronic suits that they're working on, and like the arcade games that need issues.
They don't have those things. They send them away in a truck.
And the kitchen and all that stuff. Plus, you're talking about Chuck E. Cheese's. This is Freddy Fazbear's.
Okay.
Totally different place.
This is a fancy place.
Well, it's coming down on rough times. Because if you're playing the game, you see a newspaper like pinned up to the wall, and if you read it, like a kid got bit by one of the animatronics or something. Like something
Why?
bad
They're on a
happened.
stage. No one goes near them.
Yeah, apparently a kid went and fucked with one of them.
Well, then he gets what he deserves. They get electrocuted by that shit.
Yeah, apparently he made it a surprising amount of time without his frontal lobe after the bite of 87.
Great.
So the game, the conceit of the game, forgetting your bullshit, is that you sit in this room, you can't leave. The only controls you have are look right, look left.
Why can't you leave? Are you tied down?
Yeah, like there's no way out. You're stuck in the room. Who knows why?
Someone
Who cares?
glued you to the chair?
So it's one of those disempowering things. You can move the mouse down, and that
Look at your junk.
pulls up a display in front of your face, like physically, like it pulls up in front of you, and then you can see all the security cameras. And you click on the map on all the cameras, and you see what that camera sees. You can't control the camera. Camera like moves back and forth, does its own thing in that room, but you can look at that camera. You can look at any of the cameras. If you move the mouse back up, the console goes back down, you're looking at the room again. You can shut the door to the left or right, and you can turn on the light in the hallway right there to the left or to the right. As long as you are using the camera, have a light on, or have a door closed, your power consumption increases.
Okay.
This place has limited power. They're trying to save budget, and the doors are open by default. It takes power to hold them closed.
What kind of shitty door? Just they're wooden doors, right?
No, they're steel security doors.
What the fuck are there? Steel's electronic
Yeah.
security
So
doors?
Scott, if you play this game, the vibe is that what kind of fucked up joint is this?
Yeah, what kind of fucked up joint is this?
So you're in this room with steel security doors, and they default open. So if the power runs out, all the lights go out, and the doors open.
Doors default to closed.
Nope. So imagine a safety, like a fire code thing where...
Imagine a grocery store with power doors. They close if the power's
Scott,
out.
so imagine a grocery store where the doors, if they're closed and the power goes out, they default to closed and you can't get out because there's still security doors and everyone's trapped inside.
You just move them with your hands because they have manual controls because they're doors. You can open them with your hands.
Yeah, this place has steel security doors that nothing can break through these things.
You can pull them open with your hands.
No, they weigh like a ton.
They have a knob.
No, there's no knob. These are the kinds of doors like on the outside of a blast furnace. They're like the doors you would put on the outside of a nuclear
lightsaber
bunker.
to cut through.
Yeah, nuclear bunker door.
And a Chuck E. Cheese.
Yeah. So you're sitting there and you get a phone call, like a voicemail, from the guy who did your job like the previous week. Like, hey, dude, here's how to do the job. Keep an eye on him.
So he still lived.
And what he warns you is that these animatronic suits, they're AI controlled. So during the day, like they do their thing on their own. They're programmed. And at night, they like to roam around because if you don't let them move around at night, their servers lock up or whatever. He doesn't know or care. That's just how it is. And part of the AI is that if they see an exoskeleton that's not inside of the animatronic suit, that's against the rules. So they will put it in a suit. They'll take it and they'll shove it into a suit.
Okay.
If they see a human being after hours, they think it's an exoskeleton, and they shove it into a suit. And because that suit's full of a bunch of metal and electronics, that's pretty much guaranteed to horribly kill you.
Oh, okay.
So if they see
How
you...
strong are they? If I was...
They are huge and powerful.
But if I'm standing there, if I meet the real rocket fire explosion, I can just kick one of those fuckers over and smash it. It's not that durable.
Yeah, these things can overpower a human being.
So they're basically the Terminator.
Yes. So if they
Why
see
is the
you,
Terminator working at a Chuck E. Cheese?
Yeah, so on the fourth night,
He should be going to save John Connor.
on the third or fourth night, the guy's voicemail is basically like, yeah, so and the guy's like, I think this place is kind of fucked up.
Did he say fucked up?
No, I feel like you should go check on like what's in those other suits in the supply room.
And the third night, after the first night, why don't you quit?
Because you need this money.
I can get money elsewhere.
Maybe not, because your name is Mike Schmidt and you probably need money. The best. So at the end of the game,
you know what I'll do? I'll just rob this fucking place and leave.
if you win the game,
It's possible to
You know what
win.
it gives you?
Mm.
It just shows you made $120 by surviving this bullshit.
So you beat it?
Yeah. Well, I didn't beat it. I went and looked up a spoiler. So you're sitting there in the game and you get these warnings, and then you look at the stage. There's 3 animatronic suits. And you look at Pirate Cove. There's a 4th suit you can't see that's behind a curtain. And that's the whole game. They roam around. You got to keep an eye on them. They all follow different rules. And shit's kind of terrifying. I don't want to spoil stuff. I feel like you guys should play it because it's such a short game. But I'll give you an example of some shit that went down. So I look at the stage. All 3 suits are there.
Let me tell you about my character.
And then I look at Pirate Cove. The curtain's closed. And then I see some sort of hallucination. That happens occasionally. And then I look at the Pirate Cove, and I look at the stage again, and Bonnie the Bunny's gone.
Why don't you just go chill out in the Pirate Cove?
You can't move. Also, if you go there, it'll see you, and it'll kill you. So I look at the stage, and Bonnie's gone. Bonnie the Bunny's gone. So I start looking around, and I find her on the camera. And she's like in the hallway, kind of near me. So it turns out that the cameras actually have a blind spot, as the guy warns you on the phone, right next to your doors. So eventually, I can't find Bonnie the Bunny. Like, look at all the cameras, I just can't fucking find her. And then I just pull out of the camera, and I click on the light, and she is right fucking outside the door looking inside, and I slam the door shut.
Mm-hmm.
She doesn't kill me. Then I pull the camera up to look for Chica, the chicken, because he like is wandering around somewhere, and I couldn't find him. I don't see him. And then suddenly, the chicken pulls the camera down and kills me out of nowhere, and it scared the ever-living fuck out of me.
Okay, so why do you use the cameras at all? Why don't you just only use the lights and close the doors when necessary?
So here's the spoiler. So the suit that's hanging out in Pirate Cove, who Foxy the pirate is a pretty cool guy. If you don't look at him enough, or if you look at him too much because you're paranoid, he slowly activates. And eventually, like, if you look in the room and he's not there anymore, like, he'll open the curtain. He's kind of looking at you. And then he's, like, hanging out in front of the curtain, like, in front of the auto order sign. One time I looked in there and he's gone. Just gone. I'm like, oh, fuck. And then I look at the hallway and he's literally sprinting down the hallway toward my door.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll just come and kill you.
Okay.
The game punishes players if they fail with jump scares. And the jump scares are artfully designed such that even if you're an intelligent human being who thinks, I won't be gotten by the jump scare, it'll jump scare you anyway.
Anyone can be jump scared.
The game is clever in ways that I don't want to reveal because I feel like you should explore and experience these things yourself. It legitimately raised my heart rate. It gave me an adrenaline rush, like a for real one, the same feeling you get when a car almost hits you while you're biking. And it's just generally extremely stressful and frustrating to play in a really fun way. I highly recommend you try Five Nights at Freddy's.
Yeah.
Yeah, Scott hates games like this, interrupted me trying to explain it, but obviously, guys, this game is great, and you should play it. I don't know why you're so on it.
No, man.
Why would you be? The game uses, it does horror, and...
It's not horror.
How is it not horror? How could you make a horror game, then?
An intelligent person can't be scared.
Uh-huh. So there's no such thing as horror, ever? There's no horror fiction? There's no horror movies?
Not for me.
So there's no such thing as a genre of horror?
Back when I was a kid, I could watch Alien, and I was scared.
Scott, horror doesn't mean it scares you.
But now, I can watch anything and be not scared.
That doesn't make it not horror.
It makes it not horror enough.
Why? Horror doesn't necessarily mean scary.
I do know one thing, though. Jump out and go boo is not scary.
Horror,
it's
Scott,
jump out
could
and go
be
boo.
existential crisis. Also, I think you misunderstand the definitions of horror and macabre and scare and all those different words. I think you use a very reductionist definition system
I think you're
because you have no joy from games and no joy from jump scares.
I think that you are a baby.
Yeah. I'll put this. So, clever thing, Freddy Fazbear he got into the room and I had both doors shut, so I got to figure out how that works. But
he was already in the room.
As he comes to kill you, you'll notice that on his face are two pretty clear handprints, obviously from someone else he killed trying to resist him. There's a lot of subtle things like that. So anyway, things of the day, because Scott has no joy from games. We should move on to something else.
Did you watch my thing of the day?
No, I did not. I was busy setting up this stream that appears to be failing.
So my thing of the day, this dude, his only flaw in his entire life was being a Phoenix Coyotes fan. If you did not know, hockey is soon. Preseason hockey is now. It is hockey time.
No.
We did pretty good at hockey last year. So hockey this year, of course, is even more exciting than usual, which is the most exciting sport can possibly be.
No.
So this guy, this Phoenix Coyotes fan, he set up a thing in his house that is the glory of glories. He took two lights, the kind of light that a detective will put on top of his car.
All right.
And he put them side by side, akimbo.
Oh, so if there's a goal?
Of his television. He also connected to this system his stereo. If there is a goal, he pushes a button on the remote, and there are 4 different song selections to play in the event of goal. It is glorious. It is majestic. I need to set this up in everyone's house. In case I watch hockey at their house, I can press the button.
The only thing
and
better
I can
than
play
that,
the same music they play at Madison Square Garden when there's a goal.
you need a crowd.
To get the authentic home arena experience.
You need a crowd or a crowd simulator in your house.
Is there a market for this? Simulate being at the arena in your house. Once we have like Oculus Rift, it's like you're at the arena even though you're at your house. Everyone is sitting at center ice. Everybody.
For me, there is definitely a market for this.
I would buy if I could watch live sports as if I'm in the arena and it feels like I'm in the arena and looks like I'm in the arena, I would buy an Oculus Rift for that. Get on it. I know listeners work there. I don't think they listen though. But there are people I know who work there, and I'm going to tell them.
The thing is, the crowd simulator would have to simulate the physical feeling of a human being jumping up next to you and elbowing you in the face as he yells and screams at the top of his lungs.
Getting beer spilled on you.
Yeah.
You need a delivery company to bring the proper food, the smells, the cold. You got to get the temperature of the ice. You got to be cold, put on a coat, wear your jersey.
Yep.
The whole thing.
So my thing of the day, this is one of those things. It was funnier than it had any right to be. It's called Super Bad Mario. Just a video someone made of a bunch of people having a fail video moment, and they have added Mario such that Mario is the cause of their fail. That sounds like a really simple and dumb idea. Shit's hilarious. It's way funnier than it should be.
It's all right. It's pretty good. This feels like old school internet, like 5-10 years ago.
Yeah, like Blumpy.org kind of stuff.
Yeah, I'm into this.
So in the meta moment, the book club book is a Canticle for Leibowitz. I guess Scott finished it.
I'm very close to finishing it.
What? Very close?
I'll finish it tonight or tomorrow night.
Did you get to the green star part?
No, I'm at the part where they're about to get in a spaceship to leave because it's not good.
Who's getting on a spaceship?
Catholics.
Yeah. That pretty much sums up a Canticle for Leibowitz. I feel like I could review each of the 3 sections I have a completely different opinion.
Yes.
Depending on which one of them I read.
That's how it's going to go down. So let's get to the main bit.
Yeah.
Oh, is there any other meta moments?
Yes. So we're live streaming this, but it appears to have failed on multiple fronts.
Bad technology, right?
Yeah. So we'll see. I'm giving YouTube or Google some feedback.
Yeah, we're actually working with YouTube on some streaming stuff. Basically, we're giving them feedback on their streaming stuff.
Yep.
So YouTube streaming, look out on both of our channels for streaming YouTube type stuff.
Yep. Really,
I might actually start another channel separate from my main channel for that.
Because we've used Twitch, we've used YouTube, and
YouTube is from a streamer's point of view, technology-wise, YouTube is just better. the major flaw is the audience that Twitch brings. Like, I can start a game on Twitch, and people will find me and start watching who don't even know me.
Yeah.
Not so much on YouTube.
So, yeah, the only other things, PAX Australia is coming up. I'm doing not one, but 2 lectures.
All by yourself.
On Saturday, I'm performing Losing, and on Sunday, Winning. It's a rehash of How to Win at Games, but a little more Rim style. And then, not too far away is PAX South, where we will be there in attendance.
I guess I should buy flights to PAX South.
I am now attending 5 fucking PAXs a year, so watch out.
PAX Dev sort of counts.
PAX Dev is definitely getting better every time I go, and is definitely one of my must-go-to conventions at this point. So, PAX Prime. We got together a posse, some old people, some new people.
As usual.
Classic Paxson. PAX Prime's tabletop was a little suboptimal due to the fact that the library was in the convention center, and all the actual gaming space was in a faraway hotel.
There were still gaming tables in the convention center as usual, but
Not
those rooms
many.
are mad crowded, full, hard to get into.
And also, basically, it was a pain in the ass to use the game library. So we never checked anything out of the game library. So we were dependent solely on games that we collectively brought. Our friends brought a game called Pandante.
Pandante is made by Sirlin Games, who you may know from such other games as Yomi and Puzzle Strike. Sirlin is the dude who sort of thinks the same things that we do. He's all about winning and playing to win and stuff like that. And he's a dude who is like big in the fighting game community, but wasn't as good at moving his hands really fast. Right? He's much better at it than we are, but not good enough to be pro. So that's why he made games like Yomi and Puzzle Strike, which are like these skill-winning type games.
Games that let you experience that high-level interplay without needing to master basic low-level skills along the way.
So the new game from Sirlin Games, relatively new at least, is Pandante.
This is the kind of game that, and when we describe it to you, you'll feel this. It's the kind of game that people like us usually will ignore or shit on.
Right, so it's Texas Holdem poker with 2 key differences, right? There are other differences, but there are 2 key differences. Difference number 1, pandas. Difference number 2, it's a different deck of cards, not your usual deck of cards.
Yep. And it's interesting because what this game does at its core is it takes, say, Texas Holdem, which you need to be good at poker to enjoy Texas Holdem.
Pretty much. Or have so much money you don't care that you lose.
Well, you don't have to play for money. I mean, we didn't play this for money.
Wow, Texas Holdem without money is garbage.
Well, then you're just playing for points. But that's the thing.
Garbage.
If you play Texas Holdem, the differentiator of skill between like the person who's got like 9 points of skill and the person who has 8 points only comes out over a long period of play. Pandante distills that so that it's a relatively short game. It plays more like a German board game or like the kind of tabletop games we like, and you get the brain feel and the excitement of the important rounds of Texas Holdem without having to play 100 rounds of Texas Holdem and without having
Where
to be...
most of them, everyone just folds right away.
Exactly.
And they're for almost no money, and then the big one happens.
Exactly.
In Pandante, every round is the big round.
So this game, much like I said for that My Thing of the Day video, it's a game that is way more fun than it has a right to be. And we resisted. When our friends were like, hey, let's play this game, we were like, we'll play it once so we can review it. And then we finished, and then we all were like...
We played it the most.
So should we play it again? Should we play it again? Should we play it again? One night, we played it all night until they kicked us out.
It was just really... The other thing, it was just so easy to play compared to other games that had much more setup. You know, all this is just take a deck of cards, shuffle them, give everyone some chips, and play. It's more setup than, say, Sushi Go.
Yep.
But it's a lot less setup even than Seven Wonders, where you got to sort all the cards out and everything. So
there's the subtle key differences. To explain the game in detail, it's pretty simple. You play basically Texas Holdem, but when you buy into a hand and you bid on a hand, you're not just bidding like, I have the best hand. You're not putting money in saying, I got the best hand or fold. You're betting on what hand you will have by the end.
Right. You're betting on a specific hand. There are 10 hands you can possibly have. You put a chip onto one of them. And you can't bet some crazy different amounts either. You can't be like all in on pair. It's you bet a fixed amount.
Or you quit.
Right. So it's either bet 5 on one of the 10 hands or fold. Those are your two options. So I'll bet 5 on 3 of a kind. I have a 3 of a kind, is what you're saying.
Yep. Or I will have 3 of a kind.
I will eventually have 3 of a kind. Not I will have at least 3 of a kind. Not I will have, something better than 3. I will have exactly 3 of a kind. If you have 4 of a kind and you bet on 3 of a kind, well, I guess that includes 3 of a kind. But you don't get your credit for your 4 of a kind. You only get the credit for what you bet on.
So the game works pretty much like Texas Holdem in that regard, though, because you go down the river pulling up cards along the way. But every time a new card comes out, you have to bet. You have to fold or bet at or better than what you already bet on.
So you might be going for, I don't know, an inside straight, right? And you think
that's a great idea.
All right, you might be getting it. You never know.
You're not getting it.
You're only going to spend, you think I can spend $10 to see maybe a miracle will happen. So you bet on straight, and then you bet on straight again. And then you bet on, and meanwhile, you just got like a 3 of a kind. But sorry, bro.
You can't go down. You can only go up.
You can't go down to 3 of a kind. So even though you have it, it's basically meaningless.
So there's another mechanic here. Much like how Texas Holdem has all of its terminology, its poker terminology, Pandante has panda equivalents of that. So you buy breakfast, you take breakfast if you want, then you have snacks, and then you do like the paws and the tail and all these little things. So it has this fun little like interplay of using the words and the nomenclature of the game to the point that it started messing up my poker brain knowledge.
So the snacks are actually a big component of the game, right? The way the snacks work is if you are the highest bidder in terms, like I'm betting on straight flush. Fuck
straight flush. I got a floosh.
That's not as good as a straight flush.
I got a floosh.
Good. If you are the highest bidder at any given snack time, you get free snacks, which means from your hidden cards, you can throw some out and get some new ones.
You draw a card, and then you may or may not keep that card, throwing away another card. So you still have 2 cards, but you can swap in and out.
By going big and betting big, you actually have a chance to make that big a reality with all the snacks. You can still get snacks if you are not the highest bidder, but you have to pay for those snacks.
And the further away you are from the top, the more you have to pay.
So if you're betting on pair and someone else is betting on straight flush, you have to pay like $20 to have a chance at snacks.
So there's already a good, because what's the fun part of Texas Holdem? What's the fun part of poker? The big
bluffing and everyone falls for it.
Yep.
And then you make mad money when you had nothing.
This game distills poker into the bluffing and the odds and nothing else, and it does it quickly. So I might bet a floosh, even though I could not possibly have a floosh, and I intend to fold just to make everybody's snacks more expensive.
And because I can see, even though I can't possibly have a floosh, maybe the snacks will make a floosh happen.
Yeah. So,
and I'll get free snacks.
The game, obviously, because the deck is not a normal poker deck, the hands you can get are different.
Right, so there are 6 suits.
With 10 cards per suit and 1 joker.
1 through 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Oh, no. Is there a 10? Oh, is it 2 through 10?
I think it's 1 through 10.
That would make 11.
Yeah.
Right?
1 through 9? I don't remember.
I think it's 2 through 10. I don't remember. Anyway. Also, there's 6 colors, and then there's 1 wild card. Whoa, it's a wild card.
Yep.
Watch out. It's prismatic. It's got all the colors.
And there's some fun rules around that, but there's only 1 wild card.
Yep.
And there's some special rules around the wild card. So you play the game, you bet, everybody bets, you buy snacks if you want, and then another card comes out in the community cards, and then you bet, snacks, and you do this 3 times. And then
the showdown.
Everybody gets to use a power.
So this is actually another bluffing aspect, right? Based on the colors of the cards in your hand, there are 6 powers. 6 colors, 6 powers. It goes around, and each person gets to claim 0, 1, or 2 powers, right? And try to use those powers. So I can be like, I'm going to do the red power twice. The red power is put $5 in, or if everyone puts $5 in or folds. So doing that twice means everyone in the whole game has to put in $10 or fold, except me, because I'm using the power, right? Oh, no, I think I have to do it too, right?
What? No.
No? Okay.
You don't remember this game at all.
I only played it at PAX. It was already a month ago.
So bravery. Every other player must put in 5 gold or fold.
So
Playfulness. Draw a card, then discard a card, but you have to reveal a card that you kept. Orange. deal a 6th community card.
Oh, shit.
Everybody gets that.
That happens a lot.
Blue, privately see a random card from a highest hand. So someone who's beating you has a highest hand. You can see a card in their hand. Black, the fun one, greed. Steal $5 from the lowest hand unless they reveal a blue card from their hand. Hopelessness, purple. You get to fold.
Because normally you can't fold at that point. You're already in too deep.
Yep.
But that's like last-minute folding. So you can pull some shenanigans and then fold if they don't work out.
And there's a clever mechanic where if you use a power, you can declare up to 2 powers because you can have 2 cards, your card, you have 2 cards in your hole. Anyone can challenge you, and there's a challenge mechanic.
Right. It's like you're not showing your 2 hidden cards when you use these powers. I'm using 2 red powers, red power twice.
Yep.
People can either say, okay, we'll do the red power twice, or they can say challenge you. You don't have 2 red cards. The cards are designed in such a way that you can reveal their color without revealing their number.
So I have to then either say, yeah, you got me, and then I owe them some money.
Yep, because they challenged me and I was lying, I give them money. Or
I show them the colors, and then they owe me money.
Yep, they challenged me and they were wrong. I did have 2 red cards, so they got to give me money.
Which can be great if, say, I'm bluffing that I have a floosh, and I show a card that corroborates my story that I have a floosh.
You might really need, say, to use the orange power to have a chance at this hand winning.
But you
don't have any orange cards.
Or using it implies that I don't have the hand and I'm Hail Marying right here.
Or you might have a really shitty hand and want to say purple, I'm going to fold to just get escape, but you don't have a purple, and someone calls you out on it, and now you lose even more money.
That's the worst.
Or your hand is totally awesome, and you want to kick some ass, so you use red or black to take money from people. But you don't have red or black, and you get called out.
If you have the crazy awesome hand, sometimes you'll use orange or green just to make everyone think that you're actually bluffing.
Yeah, if you're using orange or green, it seems like you're desperately trying to get a good hand. So people will think you don't have the real hand, but all you did was just draw a card and throw one away.
And then you go down the challenges. So after the powers, after all that, the cards are out there. Whoever has the highest hand, everyone has a chance to either challenge them or say, yeah, you win.
I bet on 5 of a kind, and no one else bet on anything close to 5 of a kind. I just win without revealing anything whatsoever unless you challenge me.
So challenges in this stage are interesting because on normal challenges with the powers, if you are wrong, you owe the other person some money. It's not a big deal. If you challenge someone's hand and they're winning and you're right, you get a little bit of money, and of course, they don't win.
And it goes down to the next person.
If you challenge someone and you're wrong,
they actually have the hand. I have 5 of a kind. Read them and weep.
You are fucked. You owe them so much money. It is devastating.
You just lose the game, basically.
Yeah. So if you are not challenged and you win and you were bluffing, you can tell everyone, yo, dogs, I was bluffing. You're stupid. And then you get to draw a Panda Lord.
The Panda Lords are so ridiculously strong.
Waggles. It's all about Waggles. Fuck everybody else.
We pretty much only took Waggles because he was so much better than the other pandas.
Well, I think we took Waggles mostly because of the waggle action on the card.
That's also an excellent reason to take Waggles.
But the Panda Lord, if you have him, have one, and you can just take one. There's one of every color. They just have weird powers. Like Waggle's power is the triple play. Quote, during the ability phase, you can play up to 3 different abilities that cannot be challenged.
So you could just be like, red, 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 everyone put 15 in the middle, or fold, everyone right now, and you lose Waggles, but, hey, that's ridiculously strong.
Yeah.
So if you basically bluff your way to victory on one hand, you get a Panda Lord, which comes close to ensuring victory on a future hand. So there's a huge incentive to win via bluffing.
So, look again, the design of the game is pushing you toward the fun parts of poker, and it's kind of glossing over the really, really tedious parts of poker.
Right. But so while it's basically pushes you, huge incentives just bluff your way to victory, at the same time, it ridiculously punishes anyone for challenging if you're right. So it's like you have this built-in defense, making it sort of easier to actually bluff your way to victory because people are scared to challenge you if you actually have the hand. because they will just be fucked if you do have the hand.
Now, in my experience playing the game, nobody ever fucking has the hand, except that one time.
Except a few times someone had it.
Because
the early games, pretty much, that we played of this,
everyone's like,
one person actually had the hand, and someone challenged them. That person was out. The person who had the hand won the game in the end, because they just got so much money from that, it was over.
Yep.
Not only did they get the money from winning the pot, they got the money from the person who just got hosed.
I think what happened is
and
our
then
friends
they had so much money they couldn't be unseated. They won a second hand. Then that was enough money to win the game.
But then I think pretty quickly what happened is our friends started getting competent at the game. Part of the problem was that it's not easy to calculate the odds or viscerally feel the odds of the 6-color 10-card deck.
Yeah, it was very hard to calculate the likelihood of, like, what are the odds he has a floosh? Oh, pretty good, actually. There's like 10 cards of that color, right? So the odds that he's got 2 of them.
So like
and
a full house.
He's had like 5 snacks. He's seen like 7 cards this game. And plus the ones on the table, it's like that could easily be a
full
floosh,
houses,
right?
Not that hard to get. Flooshes, slightly harder to get. I don't know if it's because it's on the far right side or because we just really like the word floosh.
Only a panda would know what a floosh is.
Yep.
It says in the instruction manual.
The game's flavor text and just the art and everything on the cards was well done to the point that we started using its terminology despite making fun of how dumb its terminology was when we learned the game. Floosh became the breakaway word of PAX for the rest of the weekend.
Yeah, fuck your official swear word. Floosh is the official word of PAX Prime 2014.
I think the problem was we looked up floosh on Urban Dictionary and came up with something involving a female ejaculation.
Sure, whatever.
So a few of us looked that up and laughed about it, and then everyone else came back, and then someone bet on a floosh who was not there when we had looked it up, and that sealed the deal.
The other thing about this game is all the pandas on the cards have really great expressions, especially the number 1 where the panda's putting his hands. The panda's putting his hands in the air like, what, raise a roof.
Our convention was, if you win, you have to make the red one pose. Unless you win with the Panda Lord, then you have to make the pose of that Panda Lord.
But basically, we kept making the poses of all the pandas and saying floosh a lot.
Yeah. This is a must-have in your game library if you're the kind of person...
And it takes up somewhat little space, and you probably already have poker chips of some kind if you're a gamer.
Yeah, it's a deck of cards, special deck of cards, couple of challenge cards, and little betting cards that remind you like what the order of the...
Yeah, you don't even really need the betting cards. You really just need the deck.
I think you need the betting cards so it'll tell you...
They're very helpful if people don't know how to play, but once you're all good at the game, you don't need that anymore.
I think you'll always need them so you will never forget the order of victory.
If you play the game enough, you will know the order of victory.
Yeah, just you're going to remember that a straight is less than a full house, less than a floosh.
Yes, because it's much easier to get a straight when there's 6 suits.
Yep, but a rainbow straight versus 4 or 5 of a kind.
A rainbow straight is less than 4 of a kind and less than 5 of a kind.
And I see you can see that over my shoulder because I have the betting card.
No, because I remember that rainbow straight is in the top left.
Yeah.
Floosh is in the bottom right. And then just to the left of floosh should be regular straight.
But seriously, if you run board game nights, if you are the guy who shows up at a con and has like, hey, I got a game we should play, this is this is like the perfect example of a social game that is good to get everybody warmed up and to get the kinds of people who don't want to learn a difficult game and balk at playing a game to start playing a game and get really invested in it.
I think this is also really good. If you find those people, I know a lot of them who they like to play poker, right? They're in the Texas Holdem, whatever, but it's hard to get them to play real board games. This could be the bridge game. You can get them into sort of that like floosh culture while they're still playing a poker-ish game that they'll like. And you can go straight from floosh culture to brick for wood culture.
Yeah, you can.
And that's the bridge. You can get them over the heap if they're unwilling to just play settlers straight
here's
out.
how Sirlin sells it himself. He just gives you a set of bullet points. No player elimination.
Well, I guess you're not permanently eliminated.
Well, we'll get to that.
Yeah.
No, you don't have to fold all the time like you do in human poker.
It is panda poker.
No, seriously, as an aside.
But you do fold a lot. Folding is...
If you play poker with people and you are not a poker person, my only advice to you is you need to fold about 5 times more often than you think you do.
Last time I played poker for real monies in college, I basically just folded whenever I didn't have a hand and didn't fold when I did have a hand and started raising the roof. And I just had, when I lost, because I had no hand, I lost almost nothing. And then when I did have the hand, someone usually stayed in, and I had the hand, so I made mad money, and then I won.
Quote, it's actually fun to play for its own sake when no real money is on the line. The pandas are laughing and joking the whole way through.
That is true.
But the game has it has its core rules, and you can just play it, and it's totally fun. Just pick up game, go nuts, poker. It's awesome. Then there's a section where Sirlin's like, so, if you want to play it for real money, if you're panda enough to play it for real money.
Are you panda enough?
Here are the for serious rules. And all they do
What's the difference with real money?
Well, I mean, you're playing with real money.
What's the fixed bet? You set it like at a dime, a dollar,
I forget. It's in the back of the book. It's basically the same. It's basically the same. The only difference is the bank doesn't cover the money that you owe when bullshit happens.
Obviously,
you can't go frolic in the forest and get free money from the bank to come back in after you've lost. You can buy back in with money.
Money. Real money.
Yeah. So I kind of wanted to try playing this with real money at PAX. No one else was super into it.
I'm not super into jail.
I would not be worried about jail.
I'm sure if you played games for real money and enforcers noticed, you would not be welcome back.
Scott, even if you're playing for real money, you use poker chips. You settle up afterward. Jeez. That's like me playing Hearts for money in middle school
I'll be
cafeterias
the bookie,
101.
and I will also play.
That's fine.
Good.
We're not giving the house a cut, and
oops. The book is slightly skewed here. Yeah, everyone owes me $10.
But there's no book. There's poker chips. What, are you going to have counterfeit poker chips?
No, I'm writing down in the book what happened, and then you'll forget what happened, and we'll look in the book and see what
we
happened.
don't bite down. You know what you do? You take your fucking poker chips, we all go somewhere, like at a restaurant, and then we exchange poker chips for money. That's how it goes down.
So everyone walks out with chips in a little baggie?
Yeah, I'm not trusting you and your bookie.
I'm not going to write down how many chips everyone has?
He blagged the bookies. But
Tyrone.
Seriously, it is rare that I will just uncategorically and without reservation recommend a game for these purposes.
Now, granted, this isn't greatest game of all time territory.
No,
but
it's not even close to Tigers and Euphrates.
This fills a slot in the game library that no other game currently fills, right? So in that respect, there is no other game that you can buy to do what Pandante does, which is Panda Poker. So you should get it, if possible.
This has been Geeknights with Rim and Scott. Special thanks to DJ Pretzel for the opening music, Kat Lee for web design, and Brando K for the logos.
Be sure to visit our website at frontrowcrew.com for show notes, discussion, news, and more.
Remember, Geeknights is not one, but 4 different shows. Sci-Tech Mondays, Gaming Tuesdays, Anime Comic Wednesdays, and Indiscriminate Thursdays.
Geeknights is distributed under a Creative Commons Attribution 3.0 license. Geeknights is recorded live with no studio and no audience. But unlike those other late shows, it's actually recorded at night.
Stream has already gone to bad status.
That's not my fault. You suck at technology.
Actually, it looks like the Elgato software is fucking something up.
I've been using XSplit, which costs money, but whatever.
Yeah, I like the Elgato hardware, but the software is just butt, and it just doesn't work that well.
The only thing the Elgato software does that is good, that other software does not do, is auto-ducking. Nothing else does the auto-ducking.
Yep. I can do the auto-ducking here with the Onyx and everything.
Well, yeah, but most people do not have some sort of auto-ducking hardware. So
yeah.
the Elgato doing it is, the Elgato software doing it is great. Normally for other stuff you need like OBS, there was like a weird shady plugin that costs money.
Though the Elgato, I guess it's relevant talking about game streaming. The trouble with the Elgato hardware too is that it'll usually, between it and its software, have a semi-non-deterministic or broken delay between your voice and the game.
You have to push the buttons in the right order. I don't know if they fixed that bug.
Right.
They might have fixed that bug.
I don't think they did, because I was testing and I still saw a lot of weird issues.
Anyway, let's now talk about news. The biggest news in gaming.
Yup.
On October...
It's Tuesday, September 30th, 2014. I'm Rim.
I'm Scott.
And this is Geeknights Tonight. Floosh! It's Pandante.
Let's do this.
I don't think you guys understand how excited we are about the term floosh.
Only a panda would know what a floosh was. Our listeners are not pandas yet.
Yep. So yeah, we played Pandante, and it was pretty much the best game.
It was so floosh. Let's wait until the main bit to actually talk about the main bit.
You wanted the main bit to talk about the floosh?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. So in the news, it's
you
game
just jumping
night.
straight to news there.
What do you got? Some other bit you want to talk about?
No.
No, nothing at all.
No.
All right. Oh, though our live stream.
Oh, jump is Y, and right because they're mimicking the GameCube, but on a 3DS that's backwards. I don't want to jump with the button that's at the top. I want to attack with that button and jump with B, and then right. So that's annoying. At least R and L do the right thing.
Yeah. So we'll have to see what we do there, because the game,
it's gonna take over the world pretty much in terms of handheld gaming. And then when the Wii U one comes out, I think only like serious people who are like either people who have Wii U's are going to get it, obviously, but people who are serious about competing, if it proves competitively viable, unlike the previous Smash Brothers, they will get the Wii U one for their tournaments and such. But the 3DS one, I think, is really going to be the one that takes the cake.
Well, because the Wii U is up and also ran at this point.
Yep. In other news, on the iPad, you can now get the free-to-play Pokemon trading card game. It was available on it still is available in a web version, but now on the iPad, a Nintendo game. Oh shit!
So we'll see. I mean, we're not going to review it from the demo. We're going to wait for the real game to come out.
I pre-ordered it on Amazon. It's coming.
Just waiting for it to arrive, and then we'll play it.
Yep.
I think at least all my original concerns, I was worried because of what they did to Mario Tennis, that they were going to do the same thing to Smash. But I think they at least Mario Tennis, like they're making it.
It does seem like they're putting in some effort to appeal to the competitive gaming scene. But the problem is I'm not good enough at Smash to be able to tell on my own whether this Smash is competitively viable, because my fingers are not fast and I don't know how to wave dash or anything like that. So we need to consult an expert on these matters.
Yeah. Well, the other trouble is just that, they ruined Mario Tennis. Mario Tennis is no longer a skill game. It's just Simon Says.
Oh, which Mario Tennis?
The newest Mario
one,
Tennis
yes.
on the 3DS.
That's true.
And Mario Kart was pretty good. So I feel like there's a lot of inconsistency. Like they have decided, they see certain games as being competitive. And I feel like if you're not one of those games, fuck you.
3rd, and right now we're recording this. My calendar says September 30th. For you, it's probably October 1st. They're going to release for the 3DS Super Smash Bros. The most important game in all of video gaming. A new release, hopefully not garbage, for the first time ever on a portable system.
Not bad.
Oh my glob. This shit is going Mario. It's weird because this basically destroys the competition completely. But what is the competition? Mario Kart. It's like they're killing them. Every other multiplayer game that they make is now worthless. Because the only game anyone is going to play when there is more than one person with a 3DS is Smash Bros. What
about the new Tetris?
I mean, I'll play that, but I mean, there's a free demo of Smash Bros in the eShop, so you can go play that now. It's pretty much Smash Bros. The only problem I have with it is that the controls, they're trying to mimic the GameCube controls, and in the demo, you can't go to the settings and change them because it's just a demo. So